Good evening. My name is Mayor Scott Fogel. I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's West MIlton Council Meeting. Today is May the 9th, 2017. If everybody could, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for the invocation by Pastor Chris Setzer from Community Grace Brethren Church. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we just thank you for this evening. We thank you for our leaders, and we thank you for the guidance that you give them. Lord, we ask that in all that's done tonight, that you would be honored and that we would seek your will. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chris. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Fogel?
Here.
Hart? Here. Cobb?
Here.
Miller? Here. Grudich? Here. Dorman?
Here.
And Tinnerman.
Here.
Thank you. I believe we do not need a motion to excuse any absent council members from our council meeting or workshop in April, correct?
Correct.
All right, next on the agenda is the approval minutes. I'd like to entertain a motion from council to approve the minutes from April 11th, 2017 council meeting and April 25th, 2017 council workshop.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Hurst?
Yes.
Kopp?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Grudich?
Yes.
Dorman?
Yes.
Tinnerman?
Yes.
And Mayor Fogel.
Yes, ma'am. Next on the agenda is correspondence to council. Manager Klein, any correspondence to council?
None this evening, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is comments from citizens regarding tonight's legislation. We have 5 pieces of legislation tonight on the agenda. We have 2 ordinances and we have 3 resolutions. Any comments from citizens in reference to tonight's legislation? Seeing none, we'll move on to our ordinances and resolutions. The first is CM 17-08, and it's an ordinance amending 112.09 loud noise ordinance, and this is a second reading. Ms. Brosh.
Thank you. It's an ordinance amending section 112.09 of the West MIlton Code of Ordinances.
Thank you.
What do you say?
That was easy enough. Manager Klein, you have any comments in reference to the ordinance?
This is we're going to call it the summer ice cream truck ordinance. Technically speaking, our ordinance did not allow vehicles such as those to drive around the neighborhoods to be able to make noise, to attract or for solicitation purposes like that. This one follows, we stole language from the city of Troy, I believe, and allows the vehicles to be able to play music up to a 75-foot distance.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion from council for ordinance CM 17-08.
Make a motion, we accept ordinance CM-17-08 as written.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hurst?
Yes.
Kopp?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Grudich?
Yes.
Dorman?
Yes.
Tinnerman?
Yes.
And Mayor Fogel.
Yes. Next on the agenda is ordinance CM 17-10. This is an ordinance amending the zoning map, and we'll also have a public hearing immediately after the reading. Ms. Brosh.
An ordinance to amend the official zoning map of West MIlton as adopted by Chapter 150.006 of the West MIlton Code of Ordinances. Whereas the West MIlton Planning Board received a petition to modify the zoning district boundary of 2 parcels of real estate described as in-lot number 1348, approximately 10.365 acres, and part of in-lot number 1350, approximately 4.635 acres, from I-2 Controlled Industrial District to B3 Neighborhood Business District. And whereas council has received an affirmative recommendation from the West MIlton Planning Board to amend the official zoning map of West MIlton by changing the zoning district boundaries of 2 parcels of real estate being described as in-lot 1348 and part of in-lot 1350, I-2 Controlled Industrial District to B3 Neighborhood Business District. And whereas Section 150.319C requires council to modify zoning boundaries by ordinance as prescribed by West Milton Charter, Section 4.14. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, council accepts the recommendation of the West Milton Planning Board to modify the zoning district boundary of 2 parcels of real estate described as in-lot 1348, approximately 10.365 acres, and in-lot 1350, approximately 4.635 acres, from I-2 Controlled Industrial District to B3 Neighborhood Business District. See Exhibit 1 attached. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect 10 days after the second reading and approval by council.
Thank you, Ms. Brosh. Manager Klein.
If it's okay, I'll give a description of what's being done during the public hearing, so we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, if that's all right. You want to open the public hearing and say we're going to open up. Sorry.
Okay, all right. All right, we'll officially open up the public hearing for any comments from citizens in reference to ordinance CM 17-10, amending the zoning map.
First, let me give a description. I did put a map for everybody. It's an aerial view. And Tom put it up. What it is, if you see the yellow, that's part of actually the 10.365 acres. There's a small little triangle below it that also should be included. It used to be a second parcel, and it doesn't show that way on the auditor's maps, but that's all included, okay? And then, if you can imagine, and I probably should have drew a line, there's a parallel line from this point. There's a parallel line from this point that parallels Miami. From that point this way. And that little triangle right there is the 4.35. That's the
4.635 acres.
Yes. So that's that point. In the history that I can find of this land, it goes back to the 90s. I'm not going to say the original owner. The person that owned it that I could find back then had ideas of something called Milton Woods. It was supposed to be a subdivision which was going to be further homes. It was going to take Sandler Avenue, and eventually the planning board's idea of a second connector to Frederick Garland. Back in the early 96, 97, he had it rezoned, and there's several different parcels of zoning, R2, R1, but it included this 15-acre tract of land that was I-2, controlled industrial. Back then, as today, there was, everybody wanted jobs. So it remained I-2, and then I went through all the minutes of the planning board up to 2001, 2002. In between that time, he had made a request, that owner made a request to the planning board to consider rezoning that from I-2 to B3. And all you can find in the minutes is that it would be considered, but then it was never brought up again. And I went through another 2.5 years worth of minutes. And there's never, and any rezoning has to be done by ordinance, and it's not been rezoned. However, when he sold the tract of land, sold the tract of land with his plans that showed it to be B3. So it's always been assumed by the new owner that it was B3. The new owner has been approached by the owner of Milton Storage that he would like to buy a couple acres to expand Milton Storage. If you're driving by that area, it's basically the area just south, which is the power line area, okay? Well, you can't do that in I-2. You can do it in the B3, which is what is next door. So we're going through this process of making the rezoning request to what the owner actually thought he was buying at the time, which is B3, which is probably makes more sense than an industrial site
Right.
there, which is, when you're driving into town, I'm not sure that's the ideal place for an industrial zone. So
Right.
that's the explanation,
Okay.
so.
Just curious, what is the back portion of that acreage?
R2 and R3?
Okay.
Yeah, not R1. It's R2. It's multifamily, R3 and R2.
And has the
He was
gen-
supposed to build a bridge over, if you look at that aerial, you'll see at the end of Sandler Avenue, there's that, I think it's called Jones Run or something like that. It's a body of water back in the 90s. He couldn't raise enough money to build the bridge. And I think that's why it failed. He just didn't have enough money to extend the utilities in the road, and then he let it die.
And that was the previous owner, not the
Previous
current
owner, not the current owner, no.
Current owner just plans on keeping it farm ground in the back?
Yes.
Okay.
So the owner of the storage facility, how soon is he looking at purchasing the couple of acres that he's going to, and then expanding his storage facility?
I spoke with him actually this week. He hasn't even started the planning stage yet, because he'll need to expand his property, which needs to go to the planning board, and he hasn't started that process yet, so, and that's going to take several months.
Right.
So
Okay.
it would be several months from now.
Okay.
Did he share his intent for what type of storage? Like, I know the two storage sections there, they're different. One's RV there, closest bordering it, and then the other one over there is more of the long-run, individual storage is.
I do not know I do not know what his market is right now. He just knows, he's explained to me that he's full, and so obviously there's a market for storage.
Sure.
Okay. Great. And seeing no comments with the public hearing portion, then this is just the first reading. so
First reading,
we'll
yeah.
have a-
All zoning must be done in 2 readings, cannot be done as an emergency.
Okay. Thank you.
I still have a question.
Yes, sir.
Was there any correspondence back from the residents because of 200?
No, I've never heard anything from anybody.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, B3 is a much better fit for that land.
Yep, I agree. Okay. Next on the agenda is CM 17-11, a resolution authorizing the alternative tax format. Ms. Brosh.
It's a resolution declaring the intention to proceed under the alternative tax document format provided under section 5705.281 of the Ohio Revised Code. Whereas section 5705.281 of the Ohio Revised Code authorizes and empowers a county budget commission by an affirmative vote of a majority of its members, including an affirmative vote by the auditor of the county, to waive the requirement that a taxing authority of subdivision or other taxing unit adopt a tax budget, as is provided under section 5705.281 of the Ohio Revised Code, and requires such taxing authority to provide such information as may be required by the commission to perform its duties under chapter 5705 of the Ohio Revised Code, including dividing the rates of each of the subdivisions or taxing units' tax levies as provided under section 5705.04 of the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas pursuant to the terms and provisions of section 5705.281 of the Ohio Revised Code, the Miami County Budget Commission, by an affirmative vote of a majority of its members, including an affirmative vote by the auditor of Miami County, Ohio, has authorized and permits the taxing authority of a subdivision or other taxing unit within Miami County, Ohio, to refrain from adopting a tax budget, and has designated the information which the said Budget Commission requires of each taxing authority of a subdivision or other taxing unit to permit the Budget Commission to perform its duties under Chapter 5705 of the Ohio Revised Code. And whereas it is the desire and intention of the council as the taxing authority of the municipality of West Milton to elect to refrain from adopting a tax budget for the fiscal year 2018, and in the alternative to submit to the Budget Commission the information and documents which it has indicated will be necessary in the absence of such adoption. And now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Miami County, Ohio, that Section 1, the Council of the Municipality of West Milton hereby declares its intention to proceed under the alternative tax document format provided under Section 5705.281 of the Ohio Revised Code and refrain from the preparation of a tax budget for the fiscal year 2018. And Section 2, the Council of the Municipality of West Milton hereby authorizes and directs its chief fiscal officer to prepare and submit to the Miami County Budget Commission such information and documents as are necessary to said process and submission, and to take such other actions as may be reasonably necessary incident thereto. And Section 3, the Council of the Municipality of West Milton hereby finds and determines that all deliberations and actions related to the foregoing were effected in open and public session and in full compliance with Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code and otherwise as is provided by law.
Thank you, Ms. Brock. Manager Klein, any comments?
It's never my least favorite piece of legislation every year.
Yeah.
And is proof that lawyers who wrote the Ohio Revised Code wrote resolutions like these. No slight on other lawyers. It's required every year. Every municipality in the state of Ohio has to pass 2 of these. This is the first of 2. It's what's called the tax budget. Everyone pays a port of 10 mills. We get a portion of that 10 mills. It's always been 3.4 of the 10. I don't know how else to explain it. We do it every year, and we have to do 2 of these. It's one is doing the alternative method, and then the other one is authorizing Jill to submit it. So it has to go through the 3-member body of the county commissioners who always approve it. It's housekeeping.
Understandable. Thank you. All right, council, I'd like to entertain a motion for resolution CM 17-12.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Hurst.
Yes.
Cop. Yes. Miller.
Yes.
Grudich.
yes,
Dorman.
Yes.
Tinnerman.
Yes.
And Mayor Fogel.
Yes. Next on the agenda is CM 17-12, resolution commending the Milton Union Public Library. Resolution CM 17-12, a resolution commending and thanking Milton Union Library for 80 continuous years of serving the community of West Milton. Whereas a library is like the best person you know, politely quiet but endlessly informative, amazingly knowledgeable but charmingly discreet, open to everyone yet subject to every whim, and
Whereas the Milton Union Library first opened in 1937, making its home at the old municipal building, and then in 1941 to the old Opera House, and then in 1965 it was located at the current post office building, and
whereas the library is not a luxury, but one of the necessities of life, and
Whereas the Milton Union Library was temporarily located at 118 Phillip Drive in 1975 when the Friends of the Milton Union Library was created, securing funding for its permanent home at 560 South Main Street, and
Whereas a library is a hospital for the mind, and
Whereas the Milton Union Library celebrates 80 years of serving, educating, providing valuable resources to the resident of West Milton and Union Township, and
Whereas the more that you read, the more things you will know, the more that you learn, the more places you will go.
now therefore it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the Council of West Milton hereby congratulates and thanks the Milton Union Library and the Friends of the Milton Union Library for 80 years of continuous operations within the municipality of West Milton. Section 2, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force on and after its adoption. And I would like to just say a couple words. Every time I go into the library, it is wonderful because everyone always greets you in there. First thing when you come in, they're always very, very friendly, very helpful. I will tell you, I'm just like I was when I was in school. I still need help every time I go to find a book. So they're always very helpful with that and will direct me over to the little computer screen to walk my way through that and pull up what I'm looking for. But yeah, I really do appreciate it every time I go in. They're just warm and always happy to see you, always very helpful, and I really appreciate that. We're very lucky to have a wonderful library like we do in this community, so.
Yes, I would like to add too, they've been very kind to me. I use their facility to tutor, and they allowed me to do that for free for like 2 years, which was really great. And we visit the library frequently because I have kids in elementary, and we're always looking for accelerated reading books. And it's just got a really nice atmosphere. I think up here it said that politely quiet. I remember as a young kid, I felt like you couldn't talk. Well, I feel like it's changed over the years, and I really like that. You know, you can talk and laugh, and, you know, they have toys for the kids, and it's just a really nice atmosphere that you guys have created, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other comments from council?
I just wish I lived closer.
That's great. Across the street, okay, funny guy.
Scott, would you present?
I'd like to entertain a motion
Yeah, that's-
for resolution CM 17-12.
So moved?
Second?
Roll call, please.
Hurst,
Yes.
Cop,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Grudich.
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Tinnerman,
Yes.
and Mayor Fogel.
Yes. We did that by mistake.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's the back. Oh, where's the?
One, two, three. Let me get one more. One, two, three. Got it. Great. Thank you very much. All right, moving on, the next resolution is CM 17-13, a resolution authorizing grant application. Ms. Ross.
It's a resolution authorizing the municipal manager to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission, Ohio Green Fund Conservation Program, and to execute contracts as required. Whereas the OPWC Clean Ohio Green Space Conservation Program provides financial assistance to political subdivisions for the acquisition of green space and for the protection and enhancement of river and stream corridors. And whereas the municipality of West Milton is planning to acquire green space via Community Park Enhancement Project. And whereas the acquisition here and above described is considered to be a priority need for the community and is a qualified project under the OPWC programs. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Municipality of West Milton, Ohio, that Section 1, the municipal manager is hereby authorized to apply to the OPWC Green Space Conservation Program for funds as described above. Section 2, the municipal manager is authorized to enter into any agreements as may be necessary and appropriate for obtaining this financial assistance. Section 3, this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage.
Thank you, Ms. Ross. Manager Klein, any comments?
First, my apologies for having to put this on the agenda in the 11th hour. Typically, we always talk about everything at the workshops prior. I honestly believed that the application was due in the middle of June, and was reminded last Friday that, luckily, that by choice one, that it's actually due May 26th. So we've talked about it, though, in the past. There is a house near the entrance of the park, approximately an acre and a half of land or so. The grant that we're applying for would pay for, it's a 75-25 grant. It would pay for not only the purchase of the home, also what our application is going to be is the purchase of the home, our intentions to demolish the home. We have to preserve it as green space. but it also includes that set of woods that are up by the hill by Washington Street. We're going to be surveying it to take out all of the dead ash, and Grant will also pay for the removal of any honeysuckle that's in those woods as well. So it's really cleaning up that whole area, and so it's very similar. It's OPWC. It's very similar to our infrastructure projects like we did on Emmerich Road and other projects. However, it's what's called Clean Ohio funds, which is the preservation, or the purpose is preservation of land. We're fortunate that it's right next to our park, so it's really an expansion of our park.
Very good, thank you. And I'm assuming, I haven't driven that area in a while, looked, I assume that house is still for sale? and-
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, all that's all part and parcel and being taken care of as
Okay.
we speak.
okay.
Although we're not buying the 2 goats that are on the property. So.
All right. Council, I'd like to entertain a motion for Resolution CM 17-13.
Make a motion to accept resolution CM 17-13?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hurst,
Yes.
Cobb. Yes. Miller,
Yes.
Grudich.
Yes.
Dorman,
Yes.
Tinnerman,
Yes.
and Mayor Vogel.
Yes. All right, next on the agenda is Manager Klein, your municipal manager's report. I'll turn things over to you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Guests, welcome. Just a few items. I thought I'd just do it in chronological order of things that are going to be happening this month. It actually starts this Thursday and Friday. Just to remind everybody, it's our traditional annual, what we call Student and Government Days. It's the senior class that will be broken up into groups. They'll each do some work. Ben puts them to work. But it's also a fun learning experience. They'll be able to, they'll learn what local government does, the operations such as the streets, the parks, the police, the fire, also EMS squads, and all of our utilities. It is educational for the students, but also gives them an understanding of what we do for a living and what we try to provide for all the residents of the town. So that's this Thursday and Friday. Then on Saturday, there is a walk against heroin addiction. We just got this right before the meeting. There will be a community walk for the fight against heroin addiction this Saturday, May 13th, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. They will organize at the parking lot of the Hoffman Methodist Church, and everyone is welcome. Staying on that subject, the following week, Tuesday, May 16th, there will be an education seminar for everyone. And that will also be at the Hoffman Methodist Church, and it's on the topic of heroin and opioid addiction. It's an education seminar, and the public is encouraged to attend. The primary speaker will be Amy Cost, who is the Community Outreach Specialist for the Miami County Recovery Council. The seminar begins at 6:30 in the evening and is expected to last approximately 2 hours. Again, it's next Tuesday, May 16th, starting at 6:30 at Hoffman Methodist Church. If by chance you might be aware, just a side note, Covington held theirs last week. Or no, yesterday.
I was going to say.
Yeah, yesterday, last night. Covington held theirs. Chief Bussey, our police chief, attended it. It was attended by about 75 people, and he said it was well done, very educational. So we're anticipating the same for us. Also on Tuesday, May 16th, it will be Bulldogs in Service Day. And this is where students from Milton Union High School will be going out into the community to serve our citizens, doing various activities to help with those who need a little hand. They'll be doing things such as lawn and garden care, painting, or general cleanup of properties. If the weather is not cooperative, the Bulldogs will be out on Friday, May 19th. We'd like to thank Andy Grudich, the teacher who has organized these efforts, and the students who are participating and helping our citizens. And then following that, at the end of next week, will be our annual West MIlton Community Garage Sale. It is scheduled for starting on Thursday, May 18th, and will be running through Saturday, May 20th. From my understanding, there is still time to register your property if you would like. And all you have to do is call Janet at the Old Red Barn. It's 698-0219. There is no fee to register, but what Janet does is she'll put your property on a community map to let those who attend these events to know that they should check you out if you're on the map. And finally, just a traditional development update. I have no big announcements for this evening. More excitingly, that we're starting the process. The first thing that needs to be done is the rezoning and approval of the development plan. That actually started just last Wednesday. What I would like to do tonight is to share with everyone our calendar of activities and events or public hearings and meetings that will happen, which will get us closer to the actual physical start of the Stillwater crossings. As I mentioned, and you'll see on the screen, the first meeting was a joint meeting of the Planning Board and the Board of Adjustments, which was to introduce the concepts and the rezoning. Next will be on June 5th, will be a public hearing for both the Planning Board and the Board of Adjustments on the issues that they will need to address for the plan. And then on June 13th, the plan itself will be officially introduced to council. And then on June 27th, we are required, following the Ohio Revised Code, we will need to have a special council meeting. This will be our regular workshop time, but we have to hold a special council meeting to hold a public hearing on the proposed TIF incentive district. And then on July 11th, council will hold a public hearing on the zone or on the zoning of the development. And they will also have a first reading of the TIF ordinance for both parcels of ground. And then on August 8th, there'll be the final readings of both ordinances and passage for the plan itself and also the TIF creation. And then we close on the sale of the land September 8th. And anticipating by October 2nd, hopefully construction crews are out there turning over dirt. So we have a packed calendar, but we're following it, and this is how it's going to proceed throughout the summer. And I believe that ends my report for this evening, Mayor.
Great. Thank you, Manager Klein.
Could you have that posted on our website?
We intend to. I wanted to announce it tonight, and I've already talked to Michael. I've been sending some stuff to him, and it went to his spam folder, and he did not know that, but we talked, so he'll be getting this tomorrow.
Great. Thank you. Next on the agenda is any old business. Do we have any old business to discuss? All right. Next on the agenda is new business. Any new business?
I don't know if this is old business or new business, but tomorrow we are planting downtown.
Oh,
So
very good.
look for us down there. You can
If
toot
it's
your
not
horn and wave if it's not raining.
It's supposed to be nice. 74 degrees, I think, tomorrow.
So, great.
Very
Did
good.
That's it.
Did I see that you got your building? Are you in that now?
We need a key, Manager Klein.
Service Director Herron?
Uh-oh, Ben, you're on the hot seat.
And Ben and his crew, they're working hard to get those out. They fill them with some rocks and dirt, and so thank you very much. The strong men, I should say.
I guess it's not really new business. I suppose it is. I don't have anything to announce, but we do have Moe's Barbecue, and he also has a taco truck, and it's every other Friday throughout the summer. But I've been reached out to by some other food vendors, food trucks, who the one said he was going to talk to Moe and work out a schedule so they're not competing, and another one who is just inquiring. So I may have some announcements, but nothing It's all tentative right now
Right.
until those owners decide what they want to do.
Is there possibly a sampling?
That would be nice.
And I'd like to just make one quick announcement. There's a follow-up 4th of July celebration meeting at 5:30 on the 17th, which is a week from tomorrow. It'll be here in the council chambers from 5:30 to 6:30, right before the park board meeting. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe our next meeting with the school board and the trustees is the 18th, is that
Oh,
correct?
it is. I forgot to mention that tonight. Thank you. Yes.
18 May, right?
18,
And that's
6
at
o'clock.
6 o'clock.
I have a quick question. Are we doing the Community Pride Awards,
We usually start those in
Just-
June.
in June?
I was assuming we were,
Okay.
so,
I have a cute little story to tell. I have some neighbor kids. Their mom showed me, she took a picture and texted it to me, of a list that her kids were making. They wanted to get the Community Pride Award. Like, they noticed this in their elementary age. So they made a list and they told their mom, they have it all down, what the brothers to do and what the sister is supposed to do, like what flowers they need to plant where. And I just thought that is really neat that they
Wow, that's great.
have seen that and they want to try to win that for their family.
That's
So
awesome.
I just thought that was neat.
very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, any other new business? All right, next is comments by citizens. Any comments by citizens? Quiet crowd tonight. All right, next on the agenda is adjournment, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
You need
All right.
Rodney Dangerfield. Tough crowd.
Tough crowd, yeah. All right, thank you. That concludes the meeting.